everybody, it's me, Nikki, and today I'm here with a book review. I was going to show you the book, but I'll talk about it first. This is part 1 of 3, and it is about the Pearl Saga, written by Eric van Lust Bader, or I think it's Bader. Could be Bader, but I think it's Bader. Who knows? And the first book is The Ring of 5 Dragons. This is the cover. This is the, I think it's the mass market, media mass market paperback, whatever those are called. And this was published in 2001. And it is a fantasy sci-fi mashup, as you can see on the back. That is, I don't know if that's supposed to be a specific character, but they are called the Vorn, V''ORNN, and that's what they look like, the males. And I believe that is supposed to be one of our main characters. What is her name? Rianne, I think. And that is Thigpen, who's a Rappa, which I will explain everything. And yeah, so let's start. So it opens up with a prologue about two twins. I think I'm saying this right. Gian and Barta. And they are both ramen novices. And the ramen used to be men and women, but now it's just women. Essentially the priestesses of the goddess Mina, because what happened was, and the prologue basically explains everything that's happened. I believe from the prologue, maybe like 100-ish years before, the Vorn showed up and decimated the Condolan people. There are other people on the planet. There's down here, which this is like a desert. This looks like to be a Great Plains. There's these unknown territories, and then this way is the Sea of Blood, and when you go towards the water, there's like another people that they haven't been able to take over. It's mostly just like right in this area. And the Vorn are like it says that their main planet, like their star, probably went like supernova or something. I'm not sure, but they had to leave. And then they run into, at some point the Vorn run into this people that they cannot conquer. They're mentioned more in the second book, which I'll get to. I just want to find the name of them. Nope, not that one. I think they're called the Centophi or something. Centophini. And the Vorn cannot, like, I don't think they beat them, and they're like the one thing that they're afraid of. So they come to different planets and basically take all the resources and then fuck off. But they've been here on Kondala for, like I said, 100 years, I think. And where is it? Okay, it's not in this one. It must be in the second one, because it's got an appendix. You've got major characters, and then a pronunciation guide, which doesn't help me. But they have a caste system, which I know is in the second book. And so they have the Great Caste, which is the Gurgan, and they're like the techno mages. The Bashkir are the merchant traders, and then, I'm not going to say this, a third one, physicians. And then in the lesser caste is your military, engineers, females, and physicians relegated to taking care of the dead and the insane. So the Gurgan have this insatiable need for knowledge and to live forever, and that's why they're on Kundala, because they cannot unlock the secrets. So this is all explained in the first book, so this isn't really spoilers, and it's important. So they arrived 200 years ago or whatever, and they're long lived, so all the all the Vorn that are there were there at the beginning. And that's when men and women were the priestesses. And the men, for some reason, decide that they need to use, I believe they use the Ring of 5 Dragons on, there's a lock underneath the main capital of Axis Tyr, which is the Vorn name for it. And it opens a seal, and then there's supposed to be a pearl, which is why it's called the Pearl Saga. And then they can use that pearl as like Mina's power to get rid of the Vorn, but because the men do it on their own without consulting and they sort of take over, it all goes kapoof, and men can no longer be priests or use the magic, and Mina disappears. There is a female Raman named Mother, and I got confused because I thought Mother was Mina, but they are two different people. And the men lock her up because she's very powerful and very old, and that makes everything, they think she's dead, and they say that the Rapa have killed her. So you don't have Mina, Mother, or Rapa, or Mina has another, or dragons. You don't see the dragons, and Mina has another legendary animal in the second one that you don't see either. So, yes. But anyway, Gian and Barta are twins and part of this thing, and twins are supposed to be bad luck. That's essentially what that opening is. And then Gian has a gift. Did I explain it? I can't remember the names. I literally just read it. It's like Corfu and Osoru, I think. And every Ramen priestess can learn Kyofu, but they cannot learn Osoru. But Gian has the gift of Osoru, and it's supposed to be like a secret because of what happened when the Vorn came. It's a whole thing. So then, time passes, and we meet Barta again, and she finds a young girl, about 15 years old, Rianne, in a hole, and she's sick, and nobody knows where she came from. And then we find that Gian, probably 20-ish or more years, had been kidnapped by the Vorn, and she's now a slave for, what's his name? Where is he? Eleusius Ashera, who was the regent of Kundala. And The Bjorn are hairless, so they're always fascinated by Kundalan hair, and they have colorless and or black eyes. And we meet, after Barta and Gyan, we don't even know Rianne's name until later, but that's who she is. And then after that, we meet, pretty early on, Kurgan, no, not that one, and Anon, also no, not that one. And they are main characters. They are probably about 15 or 16 by Bjorn reckoning. And very early on pages 26 and 27, into 31, Kurgan rapes a Kundalan female, because Kurgan believes she's a slave race, so it's fine. Anon tries to save her, but it doesn't work out. And so there's the caste system and misogyny, because women are in the lesser caste, like, below everybody. There's a lot of politics, like a lot more politics. When you're in the Vorn section, it's sci-fi and politics, and then when you're in the not Vorn section, it's very fantasy. So Anand's dad wants to work with the Kundalins, and there's a place, right there, it's called the site of Zaharat. That's like an old ancient city, and Anand's dad wants to rebuild it as like a trading center with everybody. Not so many people agree with that. And there's lots of plans within plans. I say here the Gurgan and Bjorn have been on the planet for 100 plus years, and they still know fuck all about the planet and the people. And the Gurgan want not only the ring, they want the ring because it opens a seal which has the pearl inside it, which equals the knowledge of Kundala, and they somehow think that's going to work out for them. Somebody's head gets cut off on page 97, and Anon and his family get betrayed. And so murder happens, and Gyan takes Anon out. And he has to remove a chip from Gyan's hand, so there's that. And so then Gyan and Anon are on the run. And they meet Eliana, the girl that Kurgan raped, and her and Anon have a thing. Like, he really likes her and she likes him. There's some animal death. And then you find out that the Vorn have the ring. And later on, the Gurgan try to open it. It doesn't go well for them because only the Dar Salaat can open it. So they go. This is not a spoiler because that's basically like in chapter 8 or 9 this happens. Rian is yeah. So it's the first, it's called book 1. So this is book 1 right here, and then book 2 starts. So in the first half of the book, Rian is sick, and she's not getting any better. And Anon is being hunted. So Gyan and Barta, well, I think it's Gyan's idea, and she convinces her sister to help her. Because Anon has also been hurt, so he's kind of sick. They put Anon's spirit into Rian's body, and they sort of like cohabitate, and it's very weird. And then Gyan presents Anand's dead body, and she gets taken by, where is his name? Rek Halikar, who's a pack commander, and he's loved Gyan forever, and he becomes important. So, and then Barta is going to train Anand in Ryan's body because, surprise, surprise, Anand and Ryan together are the Dar Sala At, which is the base, which is almost like Mina Reborn type of thing. And it's very weird for Anand to wake up in a female body, and then he has to behave like a Kundalin female. But they get used to it. And then there's also things that happen. It happens later. They send Anand Ryan out to do a trip to give some food up to the people in the ice caves, all the way there at the tippy top. And Anand is afraid of heights, but Ryan can climb like a motherfucker without anything. She's off and going, and they're like, where did she come from? We don't know. And so it makes it a lot easier when they start combining. But Barta is a bitch. She wants to train Ryan as the Dar Salaat so she can be powerful. And then they basically like torture the poor girl because it's all corrupted. It is corrupted as fuck. And there's like one nice person and they get murdered and tortured. And then there are tons of prophecies. Like there's a prophecy about a planet-wide extinction. Everybody you meet has a prophecy about the Dar Salaat. And there's there, you know, all this stuff happens. And then there's this thing called thripping, which is fast travel basically, but it's like traveling through space and time. It's really weird. And at some point, there are needles put into Ryan's hands, but by the good person, and it's to help her. I made a note here for 2:28. Let's see what that is. It's been a while since I read this. And yeah, on page 228, the good Raman priestess explains everything about the male priests and how they staged a coup and what the Dar Salaat is. And when they were putting Anand's spirit into Ryan's body, Gyan like tried to stop it, and so she messed with powers beyond her control, and now she's got like chrysalis kind of stuff on her arms, and it's like she can move her fingers but nobody can see it. It's like a weird tech magic fusion. There's some body horror. When Ryan meets Thigpen, she puts like a wormy thing into Ryan's mouth to help with thripping. There is torture, like I said, of the mouth and throat, and Barta is the absolute worst. Kurgan's dad is the one who overthrew Anand's dad, and he is the dumbest. He's so short-sighted because Anand's dad, or Anand's family, had like control over this drug trade, and Kurgan's dad wants to know, and that's it. He doesn't care about anything else. And Kurgan is pretty smart, I guess. I think he's a dumb idiot, but I suppose he's smart because he does stuff to basically get what he wants in the end. There's, like I said, a lot of prophecies that all lead to one thing, the Dar Salat coming back and saving the world. Oh, and I thought this was interesting. It has 5 moons, and there are 5 dragons. So that's pretty cool. There's some lore. Like, a lot of lore is explained at some point. And you're like, oh, shit, everything makes sense now. And then there's the other group that lives on the sea. They're called the saga, and they basically have radioactive stuff because there's like some of the military people who are called Kaugan. I would say Kahagan, but it's Kaugan, which are the military ones. And they went there and they came back and died, basically, of radioactivity. And then, I think I showed this before, but there's those unknown territories up here. They sent like 4 groups up there. Nobody came back. So everybody's like, nope, we don't want to know. But the Gurgan want the radioactive stuff, obviously. And finally, at the end, Gyan, Rek, Elania, and Rian meet up, and this is not a spoiler, kind of is, but it leads into the second book. Rian gets the ring out of the seal, but the storehouse stays locked. And everybody's like, that's not what's supposed to happen. So apparently what happens is that there are like portals, like 12 maybe? 7 to 12, I can't remember. And they keep the demons out, and they have been opened. So the storehouse seal is not going to open unless the demons are taken care of. And that's what the setup for book 2 is. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was a very good... I think I enjoyed it more now than I did the first time, because I felt like I didn't really understand it the first time. I forgot to finish filling it in, so I'll do that while I talk. But yeah, it made me excited to read the second one, and I very, very much enjoyed the like blending of fantasy and science and magic and technology. And I loved the world building. I thought that was super interesting. So, yes. I'm going to insert pictures, and hopefully those won't be black like the last ones I did. And yes, I very much enjoyed it, and I can't wait to talk to you about book 2. So, I will see you in the next video, but until then, I hope you have a very good day, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.